And
say it again.
You surround yourself with good people, and
that's the power of a positive network.
Yeah, you can get there.
Young men, 25, 30, and under, build your network.
Yeah.
Don't try to front your money or anything. Don't be buying Gucci belts. Build your network before you do anything else. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on Dating Today, a conversation about modern dating issues. My name is Brock. I'm your host. And today I'm joined by my good friend James and my other good friend Reggie. And today we're going to be talking about what high-value men look for in a life partner.
Add it up.
Guys, thank you so much for joining me on my podcast. James, I know I've been wanting to have you on here for a couple of months. Finally made it happen. And we're here. And Reggie, kind of short notice, man. You made it happen, though. I'm glad you're able to join today. I couldn't actually anything from me. I couldn't actually think of a better person to join on this conversation, actually. So
I appreciate it. I'm humbled.
It's perfect. It's perfect. What we want to talk about today is when a guy gets to a certain point in his life where he's developed some really good life skills, he's made himself a valuable part of society, he has increased his network, his net worth, he is about his purpose, he's chasing excellence, and he's finally getting to that point where he's considering, or maybe he has completely considered, finding a life partner, somebody that he can share all the things that he's been working for and building. He wants to find that person, that real special person. He's not dating casually, he's really dating with intent. And what I have here, two really good high value guys that take themselves seriously, who know how to have fun, but are also very pragmatic about the way that they have gone about finding somebody they can share their life with. Reggie is actually in a relationship, so he's probably found somebody. We'll ask him a few questions here later. James, though, is single. Slide into his DMs, ladies. Yeah. But both of these guys have been very intentional about the way they have conducted themselves in terms of their professional life, the way they've gone about building a very valuable network. James especially, I can't think of anybody in my life that goes as intentionally as you do about being as selective and as intentional about growing your network, making sure that the people that you have surrounding you, and Reg, you've done this as well, but I just know James very firsthand about finding the people that are going to add more to your life, people that you're able to learn from, mentors, like not just someone who's a casual mentor, but somebody who he makes actual time to go be mentored by. That is, in my opinion, one of the staples of somebody who takes themselves seriously, that considers themselves a high-value guy, somebody who has surrounded themselves by mentors, people that have gone where he's trying to go, people who have the experience that he's able to kind of stand on their shoulders and peer what they've accomplished. Like, that's one of the marks of a high-value guy, somebody who has that growth mindset, and both of you guys have that. Take yourselves very seriously, especially in business. Reggie, the amount of accomplishments that I see you posting on social media, your licensing, if you want to tell some people like kind of what it is that you do.
So I work for the New York Life Insurance Company, and my current role is helping agents help business owners protect what matters to them most. It could be their staff.
Yeah.
It could be their business family or their personal family.
Here, hold on one second. We live right next to the Main Street, so let this rumbling and maybe a fire department run by. Gotta live the motorcycle.
Yeah.
Now, it's probably you out there.
Unless somebody uses it. So every now and then add a little life.
Right.
So what I was saying is I help agents, help business owners protect what matters to them most. It could be succession planning. It could be their staff, coworkers, colleagues, their personal family. And so I just position myself to, I know it sounds cliche, but to help people.
Sure. Then you've been very intentional about your path. Like, you didn't get here accidentally. And guys that are high value, that chase the excellence, they don't get there accidentally. They're very strategic. So over the last year or two, like the certifications, the classes, like I couldn't even get you to join me for a whole year because, dude, you were studying for exams after exams, like 20 2020, 2019. Like I couldn't get you out.
There's a
For
state exam,
anything.
almost everything. Like I'm studying even now.
Oh my God.
So it's all good.
Mhm.
You know, and you know, James could see it too. I just want to be successful enough, learn enough in my current career, not for myself, but for the people I care about.
Sure.
You know, my parents are retired,
Nice.
and so they're moving here. I just want to be able to help them.
Another mark.
Yeah.
A high value guy is somebody who's able to take care of the people who he cares about.
Right.
If you can't take care of yourself, much less the people around you, like you're not high value. You could own a Lamborghini, but if you can't retire your mom, you ain't nothing, man.
Right.
You're just not. You're just not. Like that's a very real goal for only high value guys. People that take themselves seriously. They want to make sure the people around them are taken care of and that they're comfortable for sure. So
Right on.
you're on that path, man. You're doing
Yes,
that.
sir.
Yeah.
Does it ever stop? No.
I don't actually think it stops. I
Yeah.
think that's
go.
another part of it is like it's something that you enjoy doing. Is being better, is increasing your utility.
Yeah.
Like if you ever become not useful, like a man that's not useful will die.
Yes. Shrivel.
Men that retire at 65 die by 70.
I believe it. My dad retired. He's 66. He's bored. And I told him, find something to do.
Better find something.
Find something.
Got to.
And he's going to. Like, he's working out again.
I mean, take a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with a break. Nothing wrong with a break.
But-
But you got to stay useful. Men have to. It's a masculine urge to continue to be useful to society.
Right on.
It really is.
Right.
James, tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, you know, what is it that you do? Because I could say it and I'll butcher it, but it's a little technical, so I don't want to mess it up. How would you say what you do?
So, short version, I'm a cyber intelligence analyst for a global asset management company.
Nice.
And then I have a business outside of that
Mm-hmm.
that I use my discretionary time to build.
Nice. So you got full-time side hustle. Like another thing about high value guys is like, even when they're doing a 9-to-5, they are continuing to try to strengthen the net worth. And that means with your free time, finding ways of making more money. Like that is a very crucial staple.
Yeah.
For sure. How did you get into being a cyber analyst?
Yeah, cyber intelligence analyst.
Okay. Yes.
It's a mouthful.
I mean, I just tell people that you hunt the cyber criminals trying to get the valuable information.
Yeah, so that actually started with a desire to do more.
Okay.
And my path through college was from aerospace engineering to computer science to psychology to sociology,
Sure.
which is what I got my bachelor's in.
Okay.
And then I realized you're not going to make any money with that. So I went back and went to grad school for computer science.
Okay.
And that
These are all very intentional paths.
yeah.
Yes.
The intent, the overarching intent in that stage was to make the most amount of money possible in the shortest amount of time.
Sure.
And that was because, you know, when you go to the restaurant and you want a steak, but your pocketbook says that you can get a burger or some chicken fingers,
Yeah.
that gets old after a while.
It does, especially when inside you know your worth. You know, but you can't pay your worth. It's a weird thing to say. Like, I know what I'm capable
We
of,
understand.
but I got to do my time before. I got you.
Yeah.
Reggie got you.
Yeah.
Yup.
And
And
Okay. So how long have you been doing that?
I've been in IT for over 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think you were working with Blue Cross Blue Shield for a while.
yeah,
I remember you doing that, and then you got a new path. What, like last year-ish? Year and a
yeah.
half?
I started with BlackRock in January.
Nice. Okay. And Reggie, how long have you been with the?
New York Life, about
Yes.
6.5 years.
You loving it?
Strangely, I do.
Strangely, you do.
I tell you why. My previous career was in the fitness world.
Okay.
I was a fitness manager for Gold's Gym,
Okay.
and I felt like there was a ceiling. Just like you said, there's this pull,
Mm-hmm.
knowing your net worth, knowing
Yep.
that there's more out there, and
You wanted that steak, man.
yeah,
That's it. That's the analogy. That's it.
that
You
one
wanted
is a steak. That's weird for a vegetarian. To,
Okay.
you know, but hey, It is, right? But yeah, I wanted the steak. But yeah, you know, and I jumped into finance. So from fitness to a finance company.
It's a huge switch.
It's a huge switch. But I had a good mentor at the time. He was like, the ability to care for people. You cared about people on an outside level.
Yeah.
Now you're going to care about on a financial level.
Sure.
And so that translated weirdly well. And here I am, blessed for sure, because people trusted me enough
Sure.
to share the scope of work that I did. And here I am. And
Well, you're killing it, man. You really are.
I didn't do it by myself, but you know, you surround yourself with good people.
God, man.
And
Say that again?
you surround yourself with good people, and
That's the power of a positive network.
yeah, you can get there.
Young men, 25, 30, like and under, build your network. Don't try to front your money or anything. Don't be buying Gucci belts. Build your fucking network before you do anything else. I can't even stress the overall value of a positive network. Like you can have an amazing skill. You could have some money in the bank. But if you don't have a positive network where if you had an issue, someone to call, you got nothing. Like you're just by yourself. You
Absolutely.
really need to develop. And I would actually say a strong network is the hardest thing to build. It really is, because it's your reputation. That's what your network is. It's a representation of your reputation.
Yeah, it's a sliding scale. Like, who do you bounce ideas off, or who do you vent to? And then, you know,
And who do you call it a problem?
right? If you're in a box or a silo, like a lone wolf, where do you go?
Yeah.
And so, who thinks like you too?
Yeah.
So then, when you said that's the hardest thing, you have to find people that have that mentality,
Yeah.
and it's not easy.
Sure. And it's not always business either.
Right.
I mean, having a network could also just be like your social network. People that know you for places that you go. James, I know you don't drink anymore, but when you did, being able to go into an establishment and the bartender saying like, "Oh, do you want your normal?" Like that's pretty cool. That feels nice, especially if you're on a date. Like, hey, they're going to take care of you, you know, to bring them there because you get taken care of and you built rapport, and that's kind of a network. That's an attractive thing, and women find that attractive. Like, oh, this guy has people that are willing and wanting to take care of his needs. Must be kind of important. Must be. So this whole episode is about what you guys are looking for in a life partner. Somebody that's able to kind of share your accomplishments, serve as a bit of inspiration, serve as that support for you to push through when those days are really, 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 really shitty. How do you go about looking for somebody like that? And Reggie, you're in a relationship now, so I'm going to ask you first. With the woman that you're dating, that you're with, you two are living together as of May. First, how did you two connect?
All right, shocker. My usual
Tinder.
my usual operotis with Mendai, right? Is that how they say it? But anyways, was where I worked out, or where I went to church.
Okay.
Because not necessarily in that order, those are the areas that are important to me.
Sure.
In life, right? But I found my current significant other through the Facebook dating app.
Okay.
And, you know, she had a nice profile, description, whatever. I don't know who said hi first, but it's okay.
Sure.
Someone said hi first.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Nice.
And so.
And you two live together. So things are very serious. You moved out. Actually, the three of us used to live in the same complex.
Right.
When it was, say, 3-4 months in, like, what were some of the signs? What were some of the traits, characteristics, and gifts that she brought to the table that you were like, oh, this might be somebody that I can take really seriously? Like, what were some of these things? Because as high value guys, women want to know, what is it that you're looking for? Like, it's like knee jerk is, oh, they just want a young, hot girl. Doesn't hurt. Doesn't hurt.
Yeah, right.
But that's also not what will make us keep you around.
Right.
You
Absolutely.
might have a couple weeks, a few months, and then you're gone. You get tired of it. What made this person make you say, let's move in together?
She presented herself well, intelligently. When we would talk about work things, the conversation was easy to grasp. So she is she helps save company money.
Okay.
You know, so she goes in at every level.
She's an accountant.
No, she is a process improvement
Okay.
manager.
Nice.
So
Nice.
yeah, so she can observe different layers or levels of work from the ground up to say, hey, you can improve this.
Sure.
Time means money.
Sure. Yeah, true.
Anyways,
Do this.
yeah.
Fix this. Implement this.
And so conversations, like I would talk about my work, and she could, even though she is not part of that world, she understood what I said.
She could empathize with what you're talking about.
Right.
And then not just being like, oh.
Right. And then vice versa. She would talk about, like, I don't know nothing about process improvement, but it made sense the way she did, and you know, she makes her mark that way. So I would say that there was a good grasp of professional intelligence that I was attracted to.
Would it have mattered what she's doing for a living as long as she had a really good grasp of what it is that you do? Like if she could offer that same understanding, but she didn't do what she's doing,
I would agree.
would it have mattered?
The professional career that she has wouldn't have mattered to me.
Sure.
Because if you're
She
in a
could have been a
position,
server at Stern.
Yeah.
But if she understood like the way that she does,
yeah,
that's all that matters.
that's all. Because we can have a conversation, we could build some sort of platform
Sure.
on something.
And I say that, notice I was very specific.
Okay.
Right? Because I get a lot of female clients who will try to dog on some guys and say like, a guy will just like, you know, pick up a girl at a restaurant. They don't care. It's like, but do you understand what that person's bringing?
Right.
We don't, I say we, I've never once put myself in the high value category. I'll do that just for this example. These guys are the high value guys.
There goes that humility. Okay. We'll go on.
We don't generally care about your business accomplishments. We don't care about your work very much. No, we want you to be fulfilled. It's not a deciding factor. We don't care if you're a banker. We don't care if you're a baker. We don't care if you're serving at, you know, Sloppy Joe's. We don't care what you bring to a conversation, the way that you're able to conduct yourself, carry yourself, the way you're able to empathize with the conversation that's going on and you don't like mentally check out or you seem bored. If you seem bored while I'm telling you about something that I'm passionate about, kick rocks. Like, you're out. I'm like, I do not, you won't even hear me the next day. So that's what guys find so attractive is a woman that immediately steps into like almost a support of like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Let's make that better. Let's let you keep pushing. Like having that like that inspirational figure almost to motivate you to push even further.
Yeah.
Like that's very attractive. And a lot of women struggle to understand that's what high value then really wants.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to compete with somebody. It's not about her work. It's not.
I'll tell you real talk. She makes more than me. She makes more than me, and I don't even care.
Yeah.
She also, and hopefully I don't spill too much tea.
True.
You know, but nah. So I tell you, in all realness, she doesn't even have a college degree, and she is where she's at through hard work, intelligence, and so we can talk about, again, like I said, professional intelligence. We can talk about stuff, and I'm like, oh, it makes sense. It's actually kind of sexy.
Takes grit.
Yeah.
Takes
So-
grit.
Yep. How about yourself, James? Like, you're single. Again, slide in this dude's DMs. Like, what is it that you're looking for in a partner? Something that, you know, maybe in the past you realized that's not what you want. What is it that you do want? Like, what are some of the things that you really, I mean, Reggie hit on some things like, hey, empathize with the fact that I have a line of work and show some enthusiasm to it. Even if it's a little bit boring, it doesn't, like, I get it. Some of the stuff I do is boring, but be excited that I'm excited. Like, what are you looking for?
I think one of the most important things that I place high value on is integrity.
Okay.
And for me, that means doing what you say you're going to do, the way you say you're going to do it,
Sure.
when you say you're going to do it. And if something changes, let me know in advance so that I can fill that time.
Sure.
Because what it comes down to me is respect for time.
Yes.
Which
Damn.
you can't get that back. You know, you can only allot it. You can't manage something you can't get back. It's allotted.
Nailed it.
And so,
because somebody who doesn't respect yours doesn't respect time, period.
Right.
Which also means they don't respect their own time,
Period.
Right.
which means they're not a valuable person. They're just floating through life, like with no things pulling on them, no responsibilities or anything. So yeah, valuing other people's time is massive. And yes, I see that a lot.
Is that weird? I kind of had that on my list.
Yeah.
We shouldn't have a list, but I made one for
Why shouldn't we have a list?
I don't know. I made this podcast.
If this was a panel of women, I said, hey, describe your ideal guide.
Oh, yeah, I get it.
So
I'm like,
you got like 8 items over there? Let's go. Let's go. But what else? What else? Valuing your time.
Yeah, valuing my time, integrity.
Mm-hmm. Like no flakiness.
Yeah, that's almost an instant ejection.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're out of the game.
And I think we understand, like, life happens.
Yeah,
Life does
course.
happen. But communication is key.
Right.
Like, this happened. I'm super sorry. And here's the big part, ladies. If you have to cancel, follow it up with a further plan. You have to initiate that. You need to create it. Don't make him come up with another date plan. It's hella rude. Hella rude.
Oof.
That's sensitive. Yeah. Ooh, we've all been there.
Jay's going through therapy right now.
Let it out, man.
I think life experience is a big one for me
Okay.
because,
What type of life experience are we talking about?
man, varied. Like, you've gone through hard times, you've overcome them,
Sure.
you've learned those lessons.
Okay.
And I think in that situation, you're able to create a give relationship. It's not a give-take.
Sure.
You know, I keep hearing people say, you know, you give, take, you give, take. And I said, well, if you're both focused on giving, you know, you don't need to take anything.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
That implies that something's not being given and you got to pull it away.
Right.
Man.
So, you know, someone that understands that those values, someone that understands the value of hard work, it doesn't have to be at a job,
Sure.
but whatever they set their mind to, they pursue. And there's certain, those things I like to be around people that have those values that,
Sure.
because, you know, the 5 closest people you surround yourself with, like we were talking about that group.
Yep.
Over time, those traits and those values will rub off on you.
Yeah, they do.
Subconsciously.
Yeah,
You'll start picking them up. If you're surrounding yourself with people that have bad
You are
habits,
your environment. Like,
you'll pick them up.
mm-hmm.
And so if I'm going to date anyone
Sure.
and I'm going to be that close to someone,
Mm-hmm.
they have to maintain a high standard for themselves because I maintain a high standard for myself.
Yep.
So I don't want to be around anyone
And that's
that
in
doesn't.
what is that high standard like? Where does that high standard go into? Does that mean like that? Because when I look at you, I'm like you're highly educated. You're projecting or you're pushing as far as you possibly can into your work. Do you need them doing that same thing? Do you need them? Hey, I'm working at let's just say I work at a boutique clothing store. Do you need them to be wanting to open their own? Is that what you need?
I think it's important to have some kind of dreams and desires to motivate you.
Okay.
And I also think it's important that if you do have those dreams and desires and you started on that road, that you do it to the best of your ability.
Okay.
I feel like people that lack ambition, that lack dreams or passions or desires, they get lazy.
Sure.
Like they
And sloppy.
they get complacent.
Unaccountable.
Complacent. That's the word.
Yeah.
And I don't want to date anyone like
Never
that.
stop
because
learning.
I've dated people like that in the past, and they were up my butt.
Mm.
And I come off as cold because I'm focused. I'm trying to work. I'm trying to get things done. And
For sure.
they're saying, hey, what are you doing? Do you have time? And I said, look, I got a calendar.
Mm-hmm.
this is what's on my calendar.
So you're regimented. Yeah, I got you.
I have to be.
Yeah.
I got ADHD.
Well, that's also that's a high value person who respects their time. Like you have to have the slots, like for things or nothing gets done.
Right.
You have to, and you have to have a really good concept of time. I mean, you can't see it on these cameras, but I have this wall. This is my life in weeks.
Yeah, I see it.
Like that keeps things in perspective. Like, you know, I'm looking at like all these blanks. That doesn't mean quality life. That's not what that means. Like, we're in our 30s and early 40s. How old are you, Reggie?
43.
43. When you get to your
already know.
like from this point to your dad's age, like physically at that point, once you get to your dad's age, the energy, the stamina starts going down. Like even if you want to go do something epic and amazing, like physically, you might not really be able to.
Right.
Time is so important. And if you're with someone who doesn't respect the time,
Deuces.
So what you said, James, was one of the prerequisites, if you will, when I was dating, which was I needed somebody who understood the importance of hard work. And I'll take it a step further. Mine was I needed somebody who came from a lack of money, who understood what that was like, because I did, and I cannot be with somebody who doesn't know what it's like to not have the best of something, who doesn't know what it's like to not be able to afford the nice shoes. I needed somebody who had been made fun of at school, because typically that person has developed a core confidence.
Yep.
If they've always had the good stuff, they've never really had to develop themselves.
They can relate to you better too.
They can relate. They understand hard work. They understand the value of $1. And if it was somebody who never had to worry about any of that stuff, I'm just like, you're not going to understand.
Yeah.
You're not going to understand when money is tight. You're not going to understand. You're going to just argue and fight, and you're not going to be supportive. So I needed somebody that was like that.
Right.
That was Diana. She
Nice.
told me her story on the very first date about how when she came to the country, like her parents had I think it was a 1-bedroom duplex. It was her and her 2 siblings, and they all slept on, and they were like 1, 2, 3, 4 years old, sleeping on the same bed. I was like, okay, you passed.
Yeah.
Next, let's keep progressing this.
Right.
Like that was something very important to me. Somebody who understood what it was going to be like to go from nothing to everything, because that's where I'm going.
Yeah.
And that's where you guys are going. Like your trajectory is up. Like that's where you're going. And that can sometimes be a hard thing to do when you're already on that trajectory, and then you meet somebody on that path. You're like, are they with me because I'm on that path? How do you vet somebody? How do you vet somebody that's not just with you for your trajectory?
I think
How do you do that?
the dating part is the vetting,
Yeah.
right? Because
What are you looking for? How are you making sure they're not, I'm sorry, I'm going to throw this.
Nah,
How do you make sure they're not a gold digger? How do you make sure they're not just with you for the comforts that you bring?
well,
Hey,
I ain't
it's a
making that much of coinage for me to someone to be a
and I'm
gold
not saying
digger.
like, hey,
But yeah.
engineers or anything like that, but any guy that's worth his salt, that's really going after excellence, that does have that in mind. Like,
I think
How to
when
make sure.
you had mentioned something about being reciprocal,
mm-hmm,
that's how I think you'll know,
mm-hmm.
because they match you.
Sure.
It may not be money for money, but effort for effort.
Effort for effort. Love it.
Effort for effort. And that's
So
how
what does that look like?
Well, I mean, again, I have to bring it to your idea of being reciprocal. If they match effort for effort, and you come up with an idea or an action, they have the same, they mirror it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe next time they do something,
Sure.
or the next time they have an idea. And so you also mentioned that motivation. If you're the one always doing something, you're going to get drained.
Mhm.
You're going to
If you're always initiating,
quick,
if
whatever.
you're always having a plan,
all that.
if you're always having to follow up on the communication.
All of it. And so mentally it drains you, physically it drains you, financially it drains you, emotionally it drains you.
Yeah.
And somebody else who can match your effort,
Mm-hmm.
give, refills your tank. You refill each other's tank.
Yeah.
And that's how you'll know.
And I mean, you're right, because like when say you first, second, third date, whenever, if you go out and you take her out for a decent dinner, the way that she can reciprocate, and I've said this so many times, is ladies bring a little bit of cash and leave the tip.
Yeah.
It's not much. It's usually $20.
Yeah.
20, $30 max. Like, offer that. And it's not even an offer. It's like, put it on the fucking table and leave it there.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm going to put the tip down. Like, one, the servers love that.
Yeah.
Two, it shows right off the rip that you're willing to contribute, that you're willing to match the energy, at least.
Considerate.
It is considerate. It shows that you're not there just for the experience. You're there for the person that's there, that's wanting to invest in you. This is a way for you to show that you're willing to invest back.
Right.
It really is. And I think that high value guys are looking for that. They're looking, like you just said, for that reciprocation from the get-go.
Yeah.
Right. Am I a partner or a caretaker?
Where's the mic? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the question.
Okay. So after a couple of dates, you guys, you and your girlfriend, how did you realize that she was like classy? Like, where did she have an opportunity to show that part to you? Because you said that, carry yourself with class. What does that look like?
Well, she presented herself, like I said, well professionally.
Mhm.
We had good conversations.
Sure.
Um,
I've always found class is displayed in social settings.
yeah. I brought her to hang out with my close friends. You said about the 5 or 6 people that's around you.
Yeah.
And she seemed to do very well in that setting.
Mm-hmm.
She held her own.
Sure.
And so that was something I was like, all right, I don't have to babysit.
Sure. And that is a shit test, ladies.
Yeah.
When we introduce you to our friends, we back up for a second and we watch your ass. We watch exactly how you interact, exactly like the guys are giving you a little bit of a hard time. How do you respond to that? Because if you can't survive that, you're not surviving anything else.
Right.
So
Life is going to get a lot harder or easier. And so being able to pivot, again, mentally or emotionally is kind of crucial. So,
so things went well with the friends, like that whole initiation, like that, like that was a good.
yeah.
And has she met the family?
Yeah, she has.
Okay.
So that was like maybe stage 2, whatever you want to call it. They came down. Matter of fact, she hosted at her place before we moved together, I think.
Okay.
Anyways, and
How old is this? How old is she?
41,
Okay.
maybe 40,
Okay.
whatever.
Okay.
High value. Do high value men remember birthdays?
Give her an extra. I go the other way.
She's like 36.
Kept cut.
Yeah, I'll probably get ripped up for that one, but that's all right. At least I'm honest.
She can pivot.
Yeah. So
that.
right. My mom and dad, they liked her. She was kind.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that's also another test because I love my parents. My mom and my dad, they've done a lot for me, but they're not dumb either. So they can assess things because of their experience, and I respect their thoughts.
Yeah.
Or
So if they said she's no good, you'd be like, dang, they must
straight up,
say it. Yeah.
straight up. But they would allow me that space and I would ask, hey, why is she not good?
Yeah.
Because there have been others. Oh, I don't like her attitude with, when we talked about this or whatever.
Sure.
So all that to say is, she got the green light. She was kind, whatever. Yeah, held a conversation. So it was good.
So through interactions with your friends, family, like her class was there, you were able to see that she was able to mesh well. Like that is a very important test, is meeting family, meeting friends.
Absolutely.
For sure. James, what else are you looking for? Like what else is it that you're hoping when you find that person? Like what is it that's going to be like, oh.
I think it's an ability to mirror, in some ways, my intellect.
Mm-hmm. You want to be challenged intellectually. I realize, like,
Oh, yeah.
you almost like that mental chess. I got you. Hey,
Yeah.
we like that.
I back that up 100%.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a mentally stimulating conversation is really important, and not something that's always going to like challenge you, like in your masculinity, but challenge you mentally. Like, those are two totally different things.
I can tell you, if you're just talking about surface stuff all day, every day, how was work? How was this? Every day?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the universe.
Exactly.
Magic. I don't care what it is. Even if it's maybe taboo, religion or politics.
Sure.
If we can convey intellectually thoughts, even opposing ones,
Yeah.
I'm like, boom, I'm bought in.
Yeah.
But
because anything long term, you're gonna
talk about everything.
Yeah.
Or at least you should be able to.
have a relationship based off of surface level stuff.
It's not gonna work.
There's no depth.
no doubt.
You got to have some depth.
Mm-hmm.
And
So pretty face ain't gonna just.
Real talk.
It's not gonna cut it.
You know, we work.
It might get you in the door.
We work
It might get you in the door.
Right.
yeah, we go to the gym all the time.
I'm trying not to, put any other potential dude on blast or any woman on blast, but
Sure.
if you work out a lot, you're in the fitness world, you're gonna see pretty faces and pretty bodies all day.
All day.
All
Yeah.
day.
But what about
Yep.
the depth? What about
Yeah.
the mind? And so
So I posted today. I don't know if you saw. I post a lot. I post a lot through the day.
a lot of
The
stuff.
last
Okay.
the last thing I posted was I said this is an exercise that I do with a lot of my clients that are going to be getting back into the dating world. I said, what if you were trying to attract people that were blind?
Ooh.
How would you be attractive to them? And the purpose of this exercise is to get you to realize that there are parts to you that you need to develop, that you need to exercise, that are much deeper than just your aesthetics, like your charm, your personality, your wit, your charisma, things like that. Just there are so many things that people just completely neglect, and they focus so much on the exterior, getting the attention. It's like, okay, you got the attention, now what?
Yeah.
Now what? Because the competition right now is so freaking high on who's the most attractive. Nobody's focusing on the depth anymore.
Yeah.
Nobody. It's super rare. Like you just said, like that ability to have an intellectual conversation is few and far between.
Yeah.
It really, really is. So when you find somebody that's able to, I'll actually say this, when I was dating, there was this one girl who started talking to me about Tesla, and I'm not joking. Like I was in the middle of doing something. I was like, "What? What'd you say?
I mean, like,
What?
Yeah.
What?"
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it because I'm so used to those surface level
Becomes different.
yeah.
Yes.
It's like a unicorn almost, right?
Yes.
Very different.
Yep. For sure. So being able to have those types of conversations are big time separators in someone who you're going to really give that chance to share your life with. What else are we looking? Actually, let's do this. What are you not looking for? What's something that's going to disqualify somebody? What you got?
A lack of integrity.
Well, you said integrity.
So that would be an immediate disqualifier. But
Okay.
to the point,
I would say
codependency.
Yeah, codependency. Like
Okay.
be self-sufficient enough.
Yep.
I don't know if you can hear, but
You said enough.
enough. Well,
Enough.
I'm
Self-sufficient enough
right, so that
to where you're not
draining. Well,
to
you're always gonna need something, right?
sure.
We can't, as human beings, even though we could put on a front, I got this,
Yeah.
whatever.
But they don't need saving.
Right. I mean, worst case scenario, I can pick you up from the side of the road because your tire's
Sure.
flat. However, if you're constantly like, I don't know what to do about this, I'm like,
Damn.
figure it out.
Life experience.
Yeah. Point. Life experience. Again,
Okay.
because it can be draining. Like if you're, nothing wrong with rescuing people,
Yeah.
but if you always have to do it, what happens if you need rescuing one day?
Yeah.
What happens if she's not your safe space?
Yeah, that ability to be able to mutually lean on somebody and know they got you,
Yeah.
that's huge. And again, super rare because most people are kind of out for themselves. They're out to make sure that they have theirs. Very few people have each other's back today.
They're intrinsically selfish. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
but you said what not to look for.
Yeah. What are you like? As soon as you see it, you're like, nope.
So if it's on the physical level, I don't want to say like, because in this day and age, a man can't tell a girl,
You're
woman what to do.
guy. So for
How you present yourself in public, physically.
before we go further, before we go further, a high value guy, they're only about 15% of the population. 15%.
Okay.
90% of the women are trying to get with them. So these guys exist. And women acknowledge that these guys are very real because they're all trying to get them. They really, really are. So when you say that you have a type or that you have a preference, High Value Guys says it.
Yeah.
So if you're wanting to say like, I want my partner to be physically fit, and everybody's definition of physically fit is different.
Facts.
I say that.
It really is. It could be, I like it a little thicker. I want someone who's tall and lean, like whatever that means. But generally what that means is I want somebody who's physically capable. That's really what that means. I want someone who, hey, if I want to go for a hike, I don't have to stop every 5 minutes for you to catch your breath. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like, that's totally fine with having that, because trust me, every woman that's watching this is going to say, yes, I do want a guy that's 6 foot. Every single one. Every single one. So you said exactly what you want to say. Yeah. You can have your own preference. The only difference is that guys can't change being 6 foot or not. Women can change if they're fit or not. They can. It's a choice. So if you can pick off of their choices, there's nothing at all wrong with that.
Right.
There really isn't.
I would say I don't want someone who is unhealthy. And I know unhealthy is a broad word.
Sure.
But let's just call it physically unhealthy.
Mm-hmm.
We'll figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
Mentally unhealthy.
Besides riding a motorcycle and going to the gym, like what other type of physical activities do you like? Going hiking? You like kayak?
So to be real,
Yeah.
I'm a city boy at heart.
I got you.
If you want me to go hiking, you got to show me that you can hike, because I'm physically fit enough to go hiking.
Okay.
I just don't prefer the woods. You know what I'm saying? I like there's things out there.
Are you a beach guy? What do you like doing outside? Nothing. Riding your bike?
I like my motorcycle.
Okay.
But yeah, I would, it's weird. I don't want to go hiking, but I could go to the cabin in the woods.
Okay.
So I can chill. But if you want me to go hiking, the fact that you want to do something physical excites me.
Okay.
But if you're not able to do that thing that you suggested,
Damn.
I'm just like, ooh, you got me out here.
Yeah.
And now
You got me out of here.
Here we are, and
That's hilarious.
I'm dragging you in an area that I'm not, whatever. So
Whatever.
And I think that's also the same for you, James, right? You want physical fit, right? You want someone who's able to keep up with you if you want to go do something as well.
Honestly, I like being outside as much as I like being inside.
Sure.
Kayaking, hiking, because that's when I got into photography. I bought a camera specifically so that when I went hiking, I could take pictures.
Sure. Nice.
And no, we've gone kayaking, paddleboarding a few times.
Yeah. The last time sucked.
It was great.
The last time
it was great for me.
It had rain and they had just let all the water out of the dam, and I'm talking like if you weren't about it, you got like just flown down. I had to rescue 4 people. Like seriously, I had to go get a boat and rescue 4 people. Him and Carlos were just having fun. Rope swing. Must be nice.
Before I got in the water, the guide said, "Hey, it's a really strong current, so you may want to paddle upstream first." And I just
So, but that's kind of like that. Like that's what
natural selection. You're like, this is a test.
survival.
Take girls swimming in those streams.
Oh my God,
he had to be Liam Neeson.
I will find you. It was no, that was a fun time. Well, when we move beyond just the aesthetics, of course, and you've got the opportunity to connect with somebody, like what else is there? What else are we looking for? Like the person that you're going to, and here's the thing, high value guys have options. They do, or at least they should. High value guy brings a lot to the table. That's a valuable and attractive prospect. So he should have a lot of opportunities and options. Doesn't mean he's exercising, well, they're just available. When you decide to cut all those other options off, what has she shown at that point that's made her worth you cutting off all the options?
Wow.
Mm-hmm. I figured you might have it in your notebook.
I do. I'm gonna sum it up.
Yeah, for it.
I think it's the sense of self. You know yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and you can empathize with the people around you while also not losing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
there are times, and I'm not saying all women do this, like you take on the characteristics of the groups you're in and stuff like that, and you blend in, you become whatever. And I think when you truly know yourself, I would almost say, with respect to people, spiritual morality, where you know your business, you know what you're all about, and it kind of guides you in a way that you don't get lost in the stream.
Yeah.
You can fish forward or move forward or swim forward.
Sure.
In a sense. And so, in a sense, the woman sets herself apart from other women.
Yeah.
You were like, hey, this girl said something about Tesla. It's like different. Women are women.
I'm married.
Yeah.
This
was
was 7 years ago, and I just brought it up on the podcast on the fly.
Yeah.
It has stood out that much to me.
What do we call it? Not basic, when they don't act. Basic.
Yeah, you get a little bit of worldly knowledge, like that, like, oh shoot, you're paying attention to stuff that really matters. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. How about yourself, James?
Consistency.
Consistency. Consistency in what?
All the aforementioned behaviors.
Okay.
So that those behaviors demonstrated over time. And so that I've seen this person in a variety of mental and emotional states, and through those states they've maintained a level of consistency. That doesn't mean they're the exact same through those, but I know what to expect from the highs and the lows.
So you've seen their emotional intelligence, and they've passed that test. That emotional intelligence test, when you see your girl for the first time lose her shit, like you're just like, okay, how far are we gonna go? How far are we really gonna go? And when it stops at like that moment, you're like, okay, I could do that. Yeah, I could do that for like 60 years, I guess.
Well,
that's a big.
I'm in a new-ish relationship, so I don't know if we've got, but yeah, I do like. I can do this James, I do like what James said. Consistency. That's big important to me because, we mention every now and then on the group, catfishing. It's not all about just online stuff, but it's how you act. Are you going to be this person for the rest of our lives? Right. Or are you just putting on your best foot forward? Sure. And then once you got us or got me.
Once you get comfortable,
boom. Then I see like the massive, whatever. And so that consistency and discipline is super important.
Okay. Well, let me ask something that's maybe, we kind of talked about aesthetics slightly. This is a little bit old school. This is something that a lot of people value, but we're not talking much about it. We're going to talk about some of like the home responsibilities and that type of dynamic. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most important, how important is it that she's able to cook?
So me, coming from the fit world, I'm used to food prepping by myself.
Okay. Yep.
My ethnicity is also Caribbean. And so, surprise. So that culture on both sides, male and female, can cook relatively well. So
it's important.
So I can cook for myself. Sure. And I'm not having to worry that you need to cook for us.
Okay. But because you can do it. But the way she does it, you at least want it to be up to a certain standard. So that's important.
Yeah. Yes. And so it's just fun sometimes when you're in the kitchen cooking together too.
Beautiful.
For sure. It's like music, right? It just flows together.
But it is important that she's able to do it.
Yeah, because
scale of 1 to 10, what are you putting it?
I would say maybe a 7, 8.
Okay.
And that's just because
that's fairly important. It's not crucial. It's not like, hey, this is everything.
And I also
that's pretty high.
Yeah, and I'll tell you why. Because if she respects my profession, I have to respect hers. So why, she may be working the same amount of hours I am, and so would it be fair for her to be cooking all the time? Right. I don't even flow that way. So,
and I more mean like just the overall ability.
Like
she's been doing
7, 8.
Yeah. Okay. James, where are you at?
For me, it's definitely an 8.
Okay. Flat 8, not 8, 9. Not where does it slide?
No wiggle room.
Solid 8.
It's an 8.
It's an 8.
Okay. It's because like everybody in my immediate family can cook, men and women, and my mom taught me and my brothers from an early age how to cook. Yeah. And she wanted us to be self-sufficient. And when there's another person involved, that person doesn't know how to cook. You don't sometimes feel like cooking, and you got to go out to eat.
I got you.
So, it's just a matter to me of being fiscally responsible, because just because you have the money to go out to eat every night, doesn't mean you should.
Sure.
And plus, it's not exactly the healthiest thing either.
Yeah. Depending on kind of where you go, but yeah, and that can get old too, going out like that.
You're not going to go to a health food restaurant every night.
For sure. Something else that I've noticed, and maybe I just wasn't as aware of it in my previous marriage, but with Diana especially, I do know that it's almost a love language. Feeding somebody that you care about, it almost feeds you as well.
It's an act of service.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she's huge on that. She's huge on that. And I can tell that there's so much joy, even if she's tired. She's like, I'm going to make you dinner. Like, it's going to be ready in 20 minutes. Go take your shower. It'll be out when you get out. I'm just like, damn.
She's thinking about you.
She's thinking about me. Like, just that act itself is so attractive. And it's so endearing. And I'm just like, that's like that give. That's that give. Like, she's just giving, and she's not doing it for me to give back, but I will, and I'm going to. It's beautiful. And finding that person that's going to do active giving without always expecting you to give back, like, I think that's like one of the huge tellers of someone that you can really share your life with.
It's a true.
When we first started dating, I was, oh man, we were probably only dating for like maybe 6 weeks, maybe 2 months. I'll give it 6 weeks. I got sick. I was living over in these apartments, like passenger flats, little studio apartments. We had just started dating. I got sick. I couldn't even get out of bed. I told her, I was like, don't even come over. Not only does she come over, she had called her mom. She's like, Mom, Brock's real sick. Actually, we had only been dating a month. That's what it was. It was 1 month. She calls her mom. She's like, Brock's real sick. What do I do? And she's like, this is what you do. She comes over with from scratch ingredients, makes chicken soup. So chicken, the carrots, the celery, the everything. And I'm laying in my bed, like, just completely miserable. I'm just watching her. I'm just like, oh yeah, this might be something special here. This really is.
She was unlike them.
She was like that from the get-go, though. Just like, I'm going to take care of my man. I'm just like, oh, that's super rare.
That's intentional.
It's very intentional. It shows it shows that, like, she's willing to get into like that, like, hey, we're a team.
Yeah.
And we need to take care of each other. Like, and that was early on. I was like, holy crap. And I knew, because I had been doing some dating tests. I had been creating a kind of like I did 50 dates, and I was trying to ask a bunch of questions and sort through types of things. And I realized her doing that. I was like, this is extremely rare, especially for that early on. I was like, holy crap. So at that point, that was my moment. I was like, all my options, I do not care. They're gone. They are gone. Like, deleting apps, deleting messages. It's just this woman. That was it. That was that moment for me. Like, I realized this is somebody I'm going to focus only on. She has completely deserved it at this point. She's shown herself, and she passed this test that I didn't even realize was a test, but it was, and she passed it with flying colors.
Right.
Now she's probably in the other room right now. I don't even know. She's probably messaging me. Honestly, I don't even know. But yeah, that was a huge test for me, for sure. Do you have anything else that you any of the ladies listening, James? Anything else that you're looking for in a forever partner as a high value guy? What is it?
Looking for someone that has their own interests.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be.
I love this podcast.
I don't want to be their sole interest.
Yeah.
I want them to bring something
interesting. Yeah, they need to have their own hobbies, their own passions, their own things.
But I have a lot of things that I've invested in, and that I sought to cultivate within myself.
Sure.
That I can bring to add to their life and teach them some things.
And it's not just to keep them from being up your ass all the time. it actually makes them extremely attractive.
Right.
It gives them dimension. It gives you things to talk about. Like, and then when a guy gets to see the passion that she has, it's like, damn, that is attractive too.
Yeah, it's motivation.
Mm-hmm.
It's motivated.
It is.
It really is.
So it should be an ad,
Mm-hmm.
not a plus,
Yeah.
minus.
Yes.
It should be an ad. Just same as give. It's still that what mindset do you bring to me,
Mm-hmm.
and how can we make that? How can we blend these mindsets and make something better together?
And that's what's fun, is actually trying to get that like Tetris chemistry.
Yeah.
Almost perfect. Like, that's so much fun.
But that's why the vetting is so important, because I'm not going to do that with every person.
Sure.
Sure. So the vetting is hugely important, because I don't want to waste time. They don't want to waste time. At least they shouldn't. And when you've gotten past, okay, you're pretty far into the vetting stage here.
Sure.
I can invest a little bit more of my, not only time, but also my thoughts, my emotions.
Vulnerability.
Yes.
Vulnerability. That was actually going to be the last thing that we talked about, was being able to be vulnerable with somebody. That's something that a lot of men actually struggle with, is opening up to somebody, being vulnerable, because that's almost a step into, how do I say this? It's almost a step into feminine, like, energy. Or being able to be vulnerable. If a guy is vulnerable with you, ladies, and you stomp on that, he's fucking gone.
Yeah.
Yep.
Never again will he open up to you. Likely you'll never even talk to him again. But when he's being vulnerable to you, that shows that he's comfortable with you. That shows that he's taking you seriously. He takes the dynamic seriously. Like, hey, there's been a lot of trust that's been developed. So take that extremely seriously, and handle that with care. Because one, it's rare. Two, it's extremely hard. Guys do not vent their issues. They don't vent the things that they're contemplating in life. They usually keep that stuff inside and just go and work it out. So when he takes the time to talk to you about it, it's very, very flattering. It really, really is. It means that you both have been able to create and cultivate an environment that is safe and supportive for the both of you. It really, really is. And honestly, I'm going to say that's one of the hardest things to do in a relationship, is creating that safe space. It is. So before we end this podcast, we had a question, and I think Reggie would probably be able to answer this since he's so fresh to it. I've been fielding a bunch of questions. By the way, if you ever want to send a question for us to answer at the end of the podcast, feel free to email them to me at, it's not at, but deeprockolson@gmail.com. You can send those in my DMs on Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is, but I get a ton of messages, tons of questions. I've been putting them on my Facebook, but I can't post them all. So we're going to field one of them today, which is, what is like the general timing to move in with somebody? Now, this is kind of a question that I asked a little bit earlier, which was like, hey, I had like a green heart, a purple heart, a red heart. It's like, when should you move in? When you feel like it, when you're married, when you're engaged, or even once you're married, never move in. Like jokingly, had a couple of those. But when is like a really good time to start moving in? Because people aren't waiting for marriage. We're a bit more progressive society. Whether that's a good thing or bad thing, I'm not even going to get there. But when do you think a good time to move in with someone who you're exclusive with is? Reggie, let you go first.
I'm going to give you some conflicting
That's fine.
thoughts. So I grew up in a traditional religious household,
I think a lot of us did.
right? And so the mentality is wait before marriage.
Okay.
We hear every now and then, try it before you buy it. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not a car.
Yeah.
I'm not somebody you could just try and whatever. And I would hope that the woman would not see themselves as something to try.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then whatever.
Yeah.
But I get it.
Okay.
So with that being said, as I've gotten older or wiser, I would say the choice of a high value woman that I'm finding, I'm like, oh, that's the one. And as soon as I've known that's the one, I'm fully committed. So I think that mentality is like, I'm fully committed. I could move in with this person.
So there isn't an actual time. It's a decision.
It's a
It's a decision. And that's different for everybody.
But that time took around 5 to 6 months because number one, you're busy. I'm busy. So the time that we do see each other has to be quality.
Sure.
And as we have a bunch of those quality moments together,
Quality good and quality bad as well. Like you got to see some of the bad. You got to. Yeah.
Then you're like, all right, you know what? This person is different, refreshing. I've seen how they handle the good, the bad. They vibe. They match my my moral compass, my focus, whatever, the list. And but that takes time. So I don't think you can respectfully. It's hard to find that in less than 3 months.
Yeah,
it's hard. I'm not saying it's possible.
5, 6 months.
But I say 5 or 6 months. If you're really intentional of dating this person and they've passed all these stages and markers, 6-ish months.
And then also, it does depend on how often you're seeing.
Absolutely.
Diane and I, we were able to move in fairly quickly. I would say within probably 3 months, but we were seeing each other almost every day within the first week.
Yeah.
Almost. Like the first week, we saw each other 5 times in the week.
Yeah.
I was coming up with the most creative reasons for her and I to get together.
Right on.
The crazy.
So did you make yourself sick on purpose or something?
No, this was even before that. No, I was coming. I was like, hey man, there's a market's going on. Let's go walk around the market. Hey, there's a this dude's playing at a restaurant. Let's go see that. Like I was looking for anything.
Nice.
Anything. Hey, they're making Fruit Loop art. Let's go watch them do that. I didn't care. I needed to see
because it's different, Brock. And again, for all those listening, it's different. It's less about let's just go to dinner, eat something, coffee, whatever, and that's it. You chose different events, topics, whatever.
Yep.
And again, it allowed both of you guys to see how you guys were in those environments.
It also showed her willingness as well. Like if I'm going to initiate this, and her willingness to be like, yes, I'm going to join you for that. I was like, okay, that's reciprocation. All right. It really is. And then how she conducted herself after that, like it was amazing for sure. So 5 to 6 months. James, how about yourself? How long would it take you to let a girl either move in or for you to cut your lease and move in with her?
For me, it would likely be at engagement.
Okay. And that was a really common answer to that question. Like engagement. The first one was when you feel like it, when you feel it's right. Other one was at engagement. Then there was that at marriage.
Gotcha.
So at engagement.
Yep.
So once you're engaged, once she has the engagement ring on, let's start moving in.
Yeah,
I like that answer.
There would be a conversation.
Sure.
I think, or a series of conversations.
Okay.
Because leading up to that time, we she would be at my house, I would be at her house. So we would see how each other lives. But I think when you can probably attest to this. You can attest to this. The guy is actually living with women, right? Living with someone and waking up to that person every day and seeing how they carry themselves when they wake up.
Yep.
When they may have eaten something that didn't agree with them.
Did you see my story?
Yes. That was funny.
For context, I shared a little clip of Diane and I's text exchange, and she said, "You're right, I did stink. I had cloves of garlic in my salad." I was like, I know, it was horrible. I almost had to leave the bed last night. And she just had a funny little, but I put it on my story. It was so funny.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, it was bad. The garlic was bad.
Yeah. I just think, at least for the feeling part of it, that answer, you really can't trust your emotions.
Sure.
They will be all over the place. You'll feel, oh, this is amazing. We should definitely do this.
So don't do it during the honeymoon stage, like
Absolutely
the
not.
honeymoon stage.
Because the heart wants what the heart wants.
Yep.
Not necessarily good for it, and you got to let those. What are those? Science terms like cortisol level, oxytocin.
Yeah,
You got to let
it'll
that stuff
like dissipate a bit.
right a little bit so that you can think clearly and not be
You
blown.
can have a few arguments. That'll knock those emotions out real quick.
You said what?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
time.
Time.
Time. Like,
But you guys actually said the very similar thing, which was it is a decision. So it's the decision upon the proposal. It's the decision upon this is the person.
Yeah.
So when you've decided this is the one, then let's do this. Like, hey, but once you've made that decision, like it's good.
but did they make that decision
But
too?
but it's also not like a casual. Oh, well, since you're bringing so many things over, why don't you just move? Like
Yeah.
it's a decision, a conversation.
Yep.
This makes sense. Let's do this. I get
Absolutely.
because a lot of people just fall into the let's living together dynamic.
It's a trap.
It is.
Yeah.
I think that you're really setting yourself up for a lot of failure there.
Right.
And I'm huge into being very intentional about saying how you're feeling, what you're thinking, what you want the titles of your dynamic to be. It's like, hey, I want to see you exclusively. Hey, I want to marry you. Or like, I want you to move in with me. And a high value guy is going to say these things. He's not going to insinuate. He's not going to like brush it off. He's not going to let just stuff happen. You're going to initiate it.
We don't have time for the BS.
Don't have time for the BS, the hints, no.
Oh yeah.
No.
I'm glad
No
you said that right. I don't do hint.
No hints.
I might even go the opposite way on purpose. If you
If you're hinting,
I'm like, okay.
it's like we're adults.
Yeah.
Oh,
Our communication needs to be up here, and we don't do hints up here.
Yeah.
Hints is like, no,
Absolutely.
that's not happening.
It's like one of my mentors told me, if you approach life casually, you will become a casualty.
Oh.
And so I've
Pretty mic drops as if
approached relationships and in my friendships the exact same way.
I love it. I love it. No, that was thinking your mentor coming in with the hot take at the end. I love it. All right. Well, I think that's going to about round out this episode of Dating Today. James, Reggie, you guys are freaking fantastic. I really appreciate you both joining me on this episode where we talked about what high value guys are looking for in a life partner. If you guys want to subscribe, do that right now. If you have any questions, leave it in the comment section below. And guys, thank you so much. See you guys later.
Thank you.
Bye.
Add it up.